Okay, so because of my memory, it's not always like remember my like trains of thoughts. Recently my Bible got really wet, and all the notes that I take on my cute little sticky notes that make me happy got wet and soaked and remember. So now I don't know if I'm gonna continue writing with the gel pens that I write because everything in my Bible is smeared. The one thing I do enjoy that no matter how messed up the Bible gets, this Bible is tough. Like it don't matter. It's like still wet right now, but it doesn't get destroyed. So that says a lot. But I'm digressing. My point. My point is that I think I'm just gonna try to record videos, just like I do with Snapchat for memories, to just kind of like say aloud my thoughts and then try to like journal them later, so I can come back and look to see where my mind is because I don't know what else to do to just like try to secure the things that I think when I read the Bible, and like nothing has worked thus far. Because every time I write in the physical Bible, it gets wet and it gets smeared, and so like now it's like my Bible has been wet for days now, and like even the highlighters are smeared. So recently I just got through reading Psalm 70 through 71. I had already read it some days before, but when I saw that there was no highlighters, like I like to see highlighting in whatever I read, because like I don't know, it makes me feel like I actually took a in-depth thing into it. But I knew I was gonna come back to it, so I'm just gonna come back to like everything that I read, and then the next page is like where my bookmark is. So I know I read, like I stopped reading, and I'm pretty sure I stopped reading at Psalm 76, where God says, "In the thingy thing, God alone is to be fair." So I know I had to like probably like no, it was definitely stopped at like Psalm 78 because I know for a fact, remember God's help in the past. I had to read that because I knew I would like look at the little subtitles to try to help me understand the point of the Bible or like passage, because a lot of the times I get confused with the words that they say, and that's for the longest of. I'm digressing, but what's caused me to be so upset when as a kid when I tried to read the Bible because I don't like being confused. It makes me frustrated when I'm confused because like I already feel like not smart from like my seizures growing up as a kid, because like I can never remember things or be confused. I have to continuously be reminded over and over and over again, and that makes me frustrated because I know people get frustrated with me with having to like that I just can't be like a normal person who just remembers things and retain information. And it just like it seems harder for me, and so I know like yeah, that's not the point. The point is I knew that I was gonna come back to it because like when I read the Bible I need to read it and feel like I understand it and take out certain things, and like I use highlighters for like my connections. So if it's like a purple something, it's probably related to me. Either it feels personal or it's something that I feel like I need to personally work on, depending on what shade of purple it is. If it's orange highlighted in my physical Bible, on my virtual Bible it's a little different. If it's orange, it'll be highlighted green in my virtual Bible, but it's more like mental things that I take as like commandments, things that in general should be done in like your life. So that'll be green in my virtual Bible, but orange my physical one. If it's red, it's something that I feel like it's just really, really personal to God, or something really strong that just like stood out to me completely different, that like either describes God's character or just something that's really, really probably valuable. I'm not saying that anything else isn't valuable to God, but I don't know, it's just something that strikes me different. It's always like a feeling towards that though, or something really, really important, like really, really important. So it'll be like reddish. And then if it's yellow, it's like the basic highlighter. It's just basic things that just like caught my attention, or that I feel like things to pay attention to or note about God, or things to pay attention to and note about other people, or things that's happening, or just like general things to probably like take note of, or that I've noticed. And then if it's blue, it's kind of like a story that's occurring that probably seems like to me has a valuable lesson. Well, like all of them do. I'm not saying that they don't, but I just woke up. Sinus. Whatever. It's like a lesson that leads to something that probably feels like it's like a theme about something that I'll like highlight. In my physical Bible, it's goldenrod, but in my virtual Bible, it's orange. If something gets me kind of like confused and I don't understand, in my virtual Bible, I'll put orange. So then maybe like it just so happens that years later down the road, I kind of, for some reason, I will go back and read, and maybe I might change the color on the virtual Bible because maybe I have a different understanding of it now. And in the physical Bible, I just kind of write something in so I know where my mind was at. And in the physical Bible, the goldenrod is like, it's also if I'm confused, but it's also more so like, not if I'm confused, it's more so like, it feels like it's important, but I don't really know why. But it still stood out to me, but I have no thought behind it, so I'll just like underline it, goldenrod. If I'm confused in the Bible, I kind of like, my uncle told me to just keep rereading it, because I shouldn't go on if I'm confused in the Bible. So now I don't like, in the virtual Bible I have, if it's confused, like when I first started reading the Bible, it didn't matter. I just kept reading. You know, if I was confused, I'm like, I'll put orange and I'll come back and I would just read it straight. And then whatever I did understand, I would kind of like get the big picture. This time I'm trying what Uncle said to keep going back. It's taking me longer because it's more confusing when I don't do that. It's more confusing when I do that, but I'm trying, and it feels like it's taking me forever to finish reading this Bible. I'm finally in the chapter that I want has been dying to get to, and I thought I would have like read through it, but yet it's not the case. But anyway, getting to the point. So I just got through reading 71, and now I'm on 72, and then I have to shower too. That's why I got up early, because I know I'm leaving out at like 10, and I got myself up. I was going to get up at 9, but I set myself to 8:30 because I knew I was going to get up to read this, then I gotta go shower. It says, Psalm 72, a prayer for Israel's king. Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people. So when I read that, I'm going to highlight it, but just in case. So when I read that, the mountains shall bring peace to the people. I think first the mountains are a high rock, right? Those are, one, I learned that, I'm digressing again, but I learned that mountains, they're formed when the earth is like moving and like colliding together, and that earth like kind of just like pushes up because they have nowhere else to go. And then so in that sense, I'll come back to that thought because I don't know, really haven't formed yet. But my original thought was like the mountains. A lot of people compare God's resting place as the mountains, like the hills, the mountains, and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that when I read that, I kind of just thought that the mountains, so God's resting place, shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. I don't really understand the little hills by righteousness, I don't think. But when I thought about the mountain portion, I thought God's rest, like I took out the word mountains and was like, God's resting place shall bring peace to the people. So that makes me think, that's what they're talking about, because heaven is supposed to be a place that's like the promised land, afterlife, where all the peace is, because here on earth it's beautiful and it was created to be fruitful, multiply, and like be loving, but it's not the case anymore once good and evil was produced. So I feel like heaven is just like what's it called? Not only the reward, but it's another word that I can't think of. I don't know. It's another word that I'm thinking of. God, give me the word. just basically for like the aftermath, or like when when something doesn't go right, like the sequel kind of thing. But it's not a sequel that I'm thinking. I'm sure it'll come to me eventually. So anyway, In the Little Hills by Righteousness. So like maybe like Little Hills. So something. Okay, he shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. So I'm gonna highlight that probably like yellow or red or pink. When I like something, I just highlight it pink. Like when I love something, never highlight it pink. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and the moon endure throughout all generations. So while they last, basically. He shall come like rain upon the mown grass and showers that water the earth. And this is where I stopped because I started thinking he shall come down like rain. So they're comparing God's coming down like rain. So then I was just like, okay, well, what's rain? Rain is water. In the moment, that's a good thing because water is something that replenishes things, something that hydrates things. But then, like, like the little semicolons to let you know, like, what it's comparing to. It's like as showers that water the earth. So I was like, okay, so I'm comparing it to as showers that waters the earth. So when you're showering the earth, what does showering the earth do? That it's like this cycle of giving back, because when you're showering something or showering the earth needs water for like all the plants and the things that's growing, and like the flowers, the grass, the trees, even like the lake. If you ever learned as a kid, I don't know what type of science class it was, so like the water cycle, I think some type of science. Is it bio? It's not bio. The natural science, the thing that talks about earth and stuff, whatever science, I forgot what science that was, environmental maybe. In the water cycle, it comes down when you're coming from up high. That water is clean, right? It's clean. This is always the cloud is clean. It's the thing that like detoxes the water, and it pours down fresh and pure onto the earth, right? Where it's possible that like the earth is like this toxic, like some of it may have toxin and stuff in it, and it gets dehydrated, and it needs the pure water, or just to dehydrate, but two, to also just like renew and refresh the earth. And then water evaporates back up into the clouds, right? Where that cloud detoxes that dirty water again and pours back into the earth. We learn like the water cycle, that's not how they explained it, but that's basically like what happens. You learn that as a kid in like middle school, maybe. That's probably where I learned that. That's so ironic because like when thinking about God coming in like rain, basically, in people form, God pours into us who have all this sin and filthiness, things that we're doing. And when we give ourselves to God, He's taking all those issues and problems and sins and toxins that are in us, and He's getting rid of it. And then He gives us new, fresh, clean water to replace it with. You're never empty in the water cycle. Like water, you don't like lose water and then get it back. When it comes to the water cycle, it's always pouring into you while the dirty water is going up. Like it's the earth doesn't ever like it's never entirely empty. It's being replaced with clean water while the dirty water goes back up to be like refreshed. So if I have this right, it's funny because this is coming to me as I'm talking to. If I have this right, God's pouring into us, and our sins, He's taking them, and while He's taking the like bad habits that we have and the sin that we're doing away. He's replacing all those things, so we're never losing anything and replacing them with new, better, pure things. So how could I apply that to me? So I feel like I've been like better with my like lust stuff. I don't really masturbate as much as I do. And like the 2 times that I have in like this month or whatever, it didn't feel like it was a lust thing. Because like when I used to do it, it's always somebody like you fantasize about. And it's always about me losing my virginity to someone. Trey specifically, if I'm whatever. It's always about like us being older, coming back around, him being sorry, and falling in love with me, and then taking my virginity. And that happens a lot with like dudes that I date. It's always about like them taking, like I want like the like romance movie thing. I'm digressing a little bit, but that's not realistic. And also don't want things to just be about sex and taking things. So I don't think, like, it sounds scary to say like aloud, and it's like not bad about me, but like I think that a problem is that like I do have like a sort of less problem, not in the sense of like other people's less problems, whereas like people want to have sex all the time, but it's just like I'm over doing the whole me being a virgin thing. It's okay that I'm a virgin. It's okay that I'm not having sex, but I'm still thinking about it because I'm still like fantasizing about what it's gonna be like the first time, and I'm letting that overpower like my relationships. And I did that a lot in the past, but I'm not doing that as much now. And I also don't feel the need to like masturbate whenever I do have those thoughts, because like they're thoughts, they're not gonna always go away, and there's nothing wrong with having some of those thoughts, right? This past year though, I think I've been like, I will give myself some credit. Actually, no, I won't give myself some credit. I will give God credit for allowing my brain not to like go downward. Because this year I would always like pray to God and be like, please, like I want to do right by Trey, because I really do like this boy. He has stated that he just wants to be friends with me, but I'm digressing again. But I basically had dreams about Trey when I first met him, before I knew him a little bit. And for me, I thought that was giving me an insight that we'll have a healthy relationship later down the line. Because in my dreams, it's always a later down the line kind of situation. And I tried rushing into it now. So we may have a relationship, a healthy one, later down the line, right? And me, first originally took that as just like, oh, it sounds so bad. I first took that as like maybe more of a like a muscle thing, because I just wanted to do the cutesy stuff. I just want to cuddle, and like I did he is the first person I have fantasized about reading the Bible with, but I still had the other like things going on too, like losing my thing too, and then having another dream like later down the line when we both matured, which I feel like was the point of the dream now that I'm saying that. And we started a relationship thing, but I wasn't really like the same person. I was more mature, and certain things didn't excite me as it did in this dream. And he was basically saying that he changed, and he wasn't the same dude as he was in the past. And I'm like, well, I'm not either. And like he's basically like, well, I'm more mature and I know what I want. And I'm like, and I'm more mature to know that I'm not wasting my time no more. But not in like the I'm not wasting my time like how I used to say it. Like more like I have learned to be comfortable with myself, and I don't value certain things. And I was putting more value in like associating losing my virginity with love, because associating someone being patient enough to wait to take it with just like being loved in general. Like, someone could be patient to take your virginity and just be using you. So, like, the fact that I was associating or have been associating that with someone that truly loves me is insane that I just said that out loud. But recently in the years, I would just pray like, hey, I don't want this to be a lust thing. And I would always like check myself with him. Like, he's the dude that I started checking my intentions with. And if I felt like I had honest conversations with myself, and if I knew my intentions was just because I liked the dude or I wanted something out of it, and the only thing at the time I really wanted out of Trey is just a cuddle. And if I'm being completely honest, that's still slightly kind of what I want. I would just not bother. But now, when I feel it, I would just like, if I want to cuddle, I would just pray. Like, I still want to do right by him. I'm sad that he just wants to be friends with me, but I still want to do right by him. So I had a point to all this too. Moving. Oh, my point. Okay, I got you. We're talking about the cycle. Moving forward. Me wanting to do right by him, praying that I do right by him, checking my intentions with him, so it's not a lustful intent. Making sure that it's a genuine thing, learning not to be just dependent on him, because I should never be giving this boy more attention than God and myself. I should not be moving to please this boy. I should only be moving to please God. I should not be pouring into this boy more than I'm pouring into myself and God and myself. And for the longest, I was doing little things that did that simply because in my mind, I feel like I'm being told that this is a reward later down the line for me. But me, being me, trying to rush into it to make it happen quicker. And for that, I've picked up bad habits, right? That now I need God to get rid of, right? So for me, being on social media was normally not a problem. When I met this boy, I was trying to be on social media just to be seen by him, right? Just to be seen by him. I was taking my dreams as God, like, this is your person. I was not paying attention to the fact that it was later down in life. I was not paying attention to, like I was seeing him, but just, like, brushing it off. Because I was looking at, okay, person. If this isn't a person, try to get this person. And that wasn't the point. The point, later down the line, both of us was healthy. Both of us was mature. You could tell in the dreams both of us were healed individuals, or healed versions of ourselves, which is not now. So even if he is my person down the line, still missing the down the line part, right? Because I was trying to make it happen now, because I've been wanting to cuddle, and I would like to read the Bible with someone. I felt like reading the Bible would, one, I still want the closeness feeling. I like the idea of the possibility of him being able to teach me something. I want, like, basically when people talk about the things that happens when good things happen in their lives and like the godly things and righteous things that happens in their life. I don't feel personally or think that I understand what that's like. And so I have my own idea in my mind what it's like, and I move off of that, which is obviously not smart, but I am a human being, so I do it anyway, right? So in my mind, I'm like, well, what does it look like when a dude leads you? What does it look like when he can teach you things? Like, normally, I've never really encountered that. When I meet a guy, it's always, okay, what is he lacking in? This is something that I'm good in, so this is probably where I fit into him to make him better, right? Okay. So with this boy, I tried rushing into things. I was lusting into things, and just basically doing stuff that I had no business doing. Like, I don't need to chase nobody, because I was chasing him just so he could see that I'm a good person. I'm not perfect, but I'm a good person. And it's like, I'm loving, and I try really hard to please the people that I'm romantically interested in my life. I don't have to do that. God will send me someone that will pursue me, because that's how it's supposed to be. He's to pursue me, not me to pursue him. And when he started pursuing me and he stopped, I should have stopped too. Like, I was just like, wait, now I like you. I don't have to do any of that, because God will work on me, and the person that's for me will come to me and pursue me when the time is right. But the time part is the thing that gets me. But even if he is my person later on in life, I don't have to do anything, in the sense of trying to show him, you're not the only one trying to get your life together with God. Like, I've been doing that before I met you. I don't have to put that on display. Doesn't matter. The only person that needs to know that I'm trying to get my life right with him is God. So that's the thing. So that's one thing that I need to be delivered from. I don't have a word for any of that. But basically my point was, me and those actions that I've been doing and habits that I had him to play will go up to God. If I give my love life and my habits to God, he will remove it from me and renew me with something else. So, possibly self-worth, the lack of or the removing of just lustful thoughts in general, and the act. Recently, I haven't been, I'm on my period. Normally, this would be a big problem, and it hasn't really been a problem. That's different, actually. It's really different. My thoughts. Ooh. Biggest one I could tell you. My fear. Fear and faith. That is one. That is definitely my issue that I need deliverance from. It's gonna take more than a day, though. It's gonna take way more than a few days. The lustful thing maybe took a few weeks, is working. This fear, my biggest issue. That's gonna take some time. I mean, unless God wants to deliver me instantly, that would be nice. That is something. Yeah. Because my mindset is all over the place. Like, I watched a video. I don't even remember who it was by. I don't remember nothing about the video. I just remember the thought of, and them stating that people think that the devil attacks you physically, but in reality, all this is about your mind. And that is the only thing I took from that video, and realized how stupid I felt because I didn't realize that at all. I've always thought the devil attacks you physically. I don't know why. I just always just assumed that. I never paid attention to the fact that negative thoughts placed in your mind don't always come from you. And when I met Trey and was telling him about like the little ghosts that be roaming in the hall that I used to live in, y'all seem to experience ain't real. Okay. I wasn't freaked out by it. I wasn't scared by the fact that there was one behind me. Because I didn't know it was behind me because I was on the phone with my mom. I wasn't paying attention. Like, I know they're around, and some of the presence you can feel. But that one in particular was in a closet, and he opened the door. Or she. Not me, like, genderizing, I'm sorry. It opened the door. Like, I seen the doorknob turn. Like, I was walking down the hall, and I looked at the doorknob turn. And then I heard the door open. And I didn't turn around just yet. But I turned around after I walked to the door that I was going to, and there was nobody there. Because I was assuming if someone was in the closet, you would have seen, like, if they walked, you would have seen them walk. Like, by the time I turned around, I would have seen the person. If there was a physical person like me where you could see my flesh in that closet, I would have still seen them in their, like, walking distance, and there was nothing there. So I was like, oh. I just saw that. I didn't think I was going to see that. And I was like, that's not really where my mind is right now. So I'm not like paying too much. I wasn't paying that deep of attention to it. But then I was like, should I be worried? And I was like, yeah, I'm more excited than I am worried because I was going to go hang out with Trey for the first time. Or second time. That was when all the problems started happening. So I went to cross his room, to cross the way to the dorm that was across the street because his dorm is always across from mine. Like, he's never too far away. He's far, but like not that far. And I was crossing the street, and he comes to the door with his shirt off. I don't know why I mentioned that, but he comes to the door, and I'm laughing, and I'm looking back. And so because I kept looking back, he's like, and he steps out and starts looking like, what is she looking at? Like, he starts investigating. He does it really weird, but like, and then I was like, oh, and I was like, my bad. And he's like, I was like, hey. He's like, hey. And then like we hug. And then he's like, we go up to the room, and then I tell him about the thing that I just saw. And I thought it was just like, I was laughing. I don't know why I was laughing. But then I wasn't like scared. I thought like something like that happens. I normally should have been scared. Like, I'm I don't know. But my point of saying that was that his response, he wasn't shook. It wasn't anything like that. He was just like, you just gotta have, he's like, see, you can't worry about stuff like that. You just have to have your mindset right with God. And like, no, this stuff ain't, like, basically the conversation, what was his exact words? But the main thing he was just saying was just like, your mind gotta be right with God. And none of that extra stuff, like, matters, right? Nothing's gonna touch you. And then, if I believe that right, I think he might have said that his mom taught him that. But he's such a strong individual about a mindset, a positive mindset. And I think that's another thing that really attracts me to him. And I think that's the thing that makes me feel like he might have a stronger connection with God than I do. Or he seems like he's more disciplined than I am. And when I tell him these things, he disagrees with me. He's like, nah, you think that, but that's not the case with me. Actually, I struggle. And like, it's interesting to hear him say that, because when I look at him, I'm like, you are a person that slightly inspires me, because I think you're better with your relationship with God than I am. And I always feel like, dang, I need to do more. But then the problem with that is like, it's good that he inspires me, but when I start trying to do better too, my intention of who I'm trying to impress is wrong. I'm trying to impress the wrong person. The person that I need to be trying to impress to get my relationship stronger is God and not the boy. And for the longest, I was trying to impress the boy because, kind of similar to the thing with George, I want you to feel like I'm not a bad person. Like, I'm trying to prove to you I'm not a bad person, and that I'd be worth trying to grow a relationship with God with, because I'm also trying to get my life together, and I want someone that accepts that I'm not perfect, and that we could work on trying to get both of our relationships, even though it's separate, but just like physically presently together, like our relationship with God stronger, you know. And I felt like maybe he doesn't think I'm good enough to like try to both of us get there with. And I didn't, like, it's not, at the time, it's just like, and I don't know if I'm fully like there yet either now, but just like definitely didn't realize, it's like, hey, I didn't realize that that's okay that he doesn't think that opinion doesn't matter. Subconsciously though, but it's like, you don't live it. I don't live it, right? And that's my issue. I'm not living this thing. And yeah, but also fear. It is 9:30. Okay, I've been talking for 36 minutes. Okay, so that's something that I could give to God, need to give to God, and I need to be delivered from fear, mindful fear, so he can grant me a sound mind. I went to Sarah Jake Roberts, and before I prayed to God, and I was just like, if I'm meant to be there, will you please just can you just speak to me, or just like give something obvious to let me know you're in the room, that you're there, that you're present, and that it's for me to be here. It's something that I need to work on, if it's something that I need to do, if it's my purpose, just any little, any little thing, just anything at all. And I don't remember everything that she talked about, but the one thing, when she talked about power moves, she said 5 things about power, but that's not the point. I remember, like, I barely remember. She got a book. It was a book tour. I need to buy the book. I'll buy the book eventually, right? That's not the point. The point is, I asked God to give me one thing to let me know that he hears me, or he heard my little prayer, or just something that just something to me. And the one, she was just like, she basically, I don't know, she's just like, this is something that just like speaks to me. When I asked God what was something like I needed to say in this room today, and she basically was just like, boom, for God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. And when she said that, I just kind of like smiled on the inside, and then also just like smiled, because I just felt, and I'm sure a lot of people in that room probably did too, but for me personally, I just felt like that, like I asked for something. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting something else. I was unexpecting, but expecting something different. But then when I heard that little thing, because I was like, something that relates to me, that was like, I'm pretty sure that was God. I was like, okay, that's your answer. Because something that I need to work on is my fear. Because that does not come from God. He's not giving me the power. He has not given me the spirit of fear. And I have been fearful. And that is something I need to give to God. And that is something that he will get rid of and deliver me from, and replace with a sound mind. So that's something that God shall bring me. I continue. He shall judge the poor of the people. I should shower. I need to shower. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. So the people that are doing wrong to these people, they shall fear thee as long as the sun and the moon endure throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain and showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace so long as the moon endureth. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth. That they dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. The king of Tarshish and all the isles shall bring presents of the king of Sheba, and Seba shall offer gifts. He, our king, shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him, for he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper. He shall spare the poor and needy, and shall save the souls of the needy. I always think of like financial, but I'm pretty sure the Bible is not talking about finances. And if that's the case, poor is when you just lack something or you don't have a lot of, and a needy person is when you just need a lot of attention brought to you. So if that's spiritually, a person that lacks a lot inside of them in their soul, and a person that just needs a lot of attention. For some reason, I just thought of Oren and myself, and I think that maybe I'm the poor one and he's the needy. I think Oren needed a lot of attention brought to him, and I think I lack a lot of things. Like, I don't have a lot of. I'm not completely like broke, but if you're poor, you don't have a lot of it. Like, a poor person is never poor. Like, a poor person, like, there's no such thing as just being completely having nothing, because God's always there. But a poor person has very little of, and they need a lot of help. But the difference between needy and poor, matter of fact, what is the difference of needy and poor? Because in my mind, being needy is like you need constant attention. Where's my Google? Let's see, needy definition. Lacking the necessities of life. Very poor. And what's the definition of poor? Lacking sufficient money to live a standard, comfortable, or normal in society. Sufficient. Let me search up sufficient. Enough. So, having enough. So, poor. Lacking enough money. So, one is you don't have the things, and one is you don't have enough. So, which one am I? because maybe Oren had more faith than me. Oren started reading the Bible a lot, and then life got hard. And one saying you just don't have enough to even live the standard life. But if that's the case, that could be why Oren is just like not here now. Because it says to live considered comfortable or normal in a society. So if you think about Oren, if he's the poor one, to where it's just like you just didn't have enough to, and you here to just like go on comfortably and like the way that God wants, then he took you. So maybe I'm the needy one and don't have, it says you're very poor, meaning you don't have enough, but enough. At the same, like you just don't have it. A needy person needs a lot of attention to be poured into. If you want to look at it that way. But if you want to look at it the fact that poor, you don't have enough. If you lack something, you can still gain something, right? In both of these situations. The state of being without or having enough of something. So you can either not have it or not have enough if you lack something. With me, I just know I don't have enough faith. And I only say that is because I have fear, which means I don't have enough faith. He shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper. So someone who doesn't have anybody. So all of them, when you don't have enough, he's still going to deliver you from it when you cry to him. So I just spent my entire time thinking if it was me or Oren, but either way, if we both have asked him whether Oren's physically here or not, and that I'm physically here right now, it's not like asking God for help. If Oren asked God for help, either way, he was just like, okay, I got you. For both of us. And whomever doesn't have any help. He shall spare the poor and needy, and shall save the souls of the needy. I still feel like he'll still save me. I'm now thinking that maybe poor, I don't know why I'm comparing us, but maybe Oren's the poor when I'm the needy one. Because if poor, you didn't have enough to live a standard comfort life, he's the one that didn't have enough and is not living his standard comfort life anymore. If you looked at it that way, and if I'm the needy one, which I don't have it, and I lack a lot of faith, that, like I could still gain some because he will deliver me from something, which means he would take me from having not like little faith to whereas that will no longer be the case. So he shall spare the poor and needy, meaning like he won't hold it against Oren for not having enough, and he won't hold it against me for having enough, but then shall save the souls of the needy. So not only is he not holding us against it, but saving the soul. I think this is like help in like short terms right now. It's just like I'm going to help the souls of the needy. So being the poor, you didn't have enough to live the comfortable life. That's not say assuming, but you're assuming. It is just me talking. Since you're not having a comfortable standard life, that means you don't have a life, like you're not physically on earth right now. That's assuming that the poor people, the people that didn't have enough to just stay on earth, if we're talking that way, right? This is just assumption, not facts. If the poor is someone like Oren, you didn't have enough to live a standard life, you're no longer on earth. The needy ones are still on earth. The people that also didn't lack, and similar to the people that are poor, that have enough to, endure what a righteous life looks like, then the people that are on earth that don't have these, God's going to save you from that. So the people that are still here, like he's not punishing the people that didn't have enough to live the standard life. He's like, okay, I'm not going to hold this against you. It's okay. I'm also just going to help you, the people that are still here, do better. Is how I'm taking that. He shall redeem their souls from deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. He shall live, and to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised. There shall be a handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon, and they of the city shall flourish like grass of the fruit. I think of fruit, like fruit of the spirits. All those things will be in heaven, or with God. His name shall endure forever, or last forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, who only doeth wondrous things. And blessed be his glorious name forever. And let the whole earth be filled with his glory. Amen and amen. I would probably highlight that pink or yellow. His name shall endure forever. Highlight that yellow. Blessed be the Lord. Highlight that pink. The prayer of David, the son of Jesse, are ended. Okay. And then 73, holy living will bring future rewards. The thing that I actually wanted to read and was supposed to read. It took me almost 2 hours to say this. It's almost 10 o'clock. And I need to leave to go to work. And I haven't showered or made a smoothie. Truly God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. Wait, what? Truly God is good to Israel, even to such are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw prosperity of the wicked. No, I can feel that. But I would underline that and highlight it. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not troubled as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. So they're violent people. It shows their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walk through earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are ungodly, who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. Okay, I'm gonna stop, because right now, everything up until now, I was just thinking of basically how when people are doing good and trying to do good, it's very easy to see all the things in the world, whereas it looks like people are doing good in their lives and they're doing better than you. And it's always upsetting to see when someone seems like they're a mean person or they're bad and they're doing good and it seems like they don't get their karma back. It hurts a person. And I would know, because I would look at people just like the people that kill and get away with it, the racist people in the government that hates people and like trying to kill us off and just like make the poor people poor and them get richer. And it seems like they're getting away with it for so long and it doesn't seem like nothing's wrong in their lives. And it's like, it's upsetting because it's like, here I am struggling. Here I am trying to be a good person. Here I am not doing anything wrong. I'm not killing no one. I'm not trying to purposely hurt someone. And these people are doing it intentionally, on purpose. And it feels like at the moment, it feels like they're winning. Like, what the heck? Like, you know, like, what the heck? You know, where's my goodness for being a good person? That's what it feels like. And I get that. As a kid, though, I was just like, good always comes in the end, right? Good always comes in the end. Okay. If I say I will speak this, behold, I should offend against the generation of the children when I thought to know this. It was too painful for me until I went into the sanctuary of God. Then understood I therein end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. How are they brought into desolation in the moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. So basically he's saying, when he started going to God, he realized that even though right now it seems like they're winning, they're going to get what's coming to them. God will never make a situation go unjust. God is a fair God. God is a just God. So, you're going to go through troubles now, but he's going to make sure that all the evil that they do when it's intentional, it's not going to last. He will make sure they get their just payment for it. Thus my heart was grieved and I was piqued in reins. So foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a breast before thee. Nevertheless I am continually with thee. Thou hast holdeth me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with counsel, and after receive me to glory. When whom have I in heaven but thee? There is none that upon earth that I desire beside thee. Basically it's just like being with God. Your reward in the end is heaven. My flesh and my heart failed, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Period. For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all of them that go whoring from thee. But it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord, that I may declare all thy works. So that's the end of that. Basically saying, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna fail. God is the person that will build you up. And for that, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Because all the people that are doing the doing now, and they don't care, and they have no remorse, they gonna get their days. I think I'm still a naive person, though. Something my daddy told me. He's like, you're too naive. Because deep in my heart, it's like, there's not a person that could truly just be, like, intently doing that. Like, who just intently does that? But then when you read, there are people in the world that just intently does this. So that's crazy. But I really need to shower. I got up at 8:30. It's 9:52. And I'm supposed to be leaving for work. Because I work at 12. So I want to leave at 10:30. So I need to go shower and make a smoothie. So I'm gonna go do that. But when I read again, I'm just gonna like try to record myself so I remember my thought process. I'll probably just like post it on YouTube and like private the video so I can remember, because the video is it's 59 minutes, so it's too long to keep on my phone. So